We're gonna be the king of the pirates with the Straw Hat Pirates. That's redundant. For One Piece Gold.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Otaku Movie Anatomy.
Welcome, one and all.
Welcome.
Feeling festive.
Oh shit! We got the radio.
Hello, everyone. This is our, I guess this is our first show
Of
for the new year.
Happy year of the rooster.
Rooster.
All right.
Good luck to everyone. Thanks for watching Otaku Movie Anatomy. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and comment on iTunes. Hit that thumbs up on YouTube and follow us at the Popcorn Talk. It's been a while and I'm losing consciousness. Whew. Okay.
Why?
It's only 2017.
That was a mouthful.
Are we gonna
That was
address
a mouthful.
You couldn't breathe anymore?
No, that was a very long-winded sentence. I'm glad that I'm still here.
He's out. He's off his game, y'all.
Yeah, I just need to get a little bit comfortable. You know, give me a moment to like sink in.
All right.
We're
Yeah.
back.
Let's
This
just
is
be silent for
2017.
One with the microphone?
Yeah.
Got it.
No more 2016. Thank God. So I'm Max Song, if you care to remember, and we have our usual awesome other host person.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I am Chubby Bunny. I always forget my fucking name when I say
Yeah,
this.
every time. Nothing is going to change in 2017.
Chubby bunny.
Same.
And we have a special guest with us today. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stella Chu.
Hi, Stella.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Oh my God,
Oh,
there's like
wow, an
clapping noise.
applause.
This is great.
2017. Now we got
Studio
sound
audience.
effects.
So many sound effects.
Yeah.
Man, I feel excited.
Yeah.
I feel because it feels like there's cheerleaders just cheering us
It's
on
because we got
right now.
Steven on deck. That's why he's up there.
Yeah,
He's
making it
on
as a
his
sound
game.
effect.
He knows
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Stella, what do you do? Tell us a little about yourself.
What do you do?
I drink from mugs that say Popcorn Talk.
Whoa, that's what we do too. Jesus. We have a lot in common.
Yes.
A lot in common.
I'm a cosplayer and I make YouTube videos, I Twitch stream, Patreon, run around the country doing weird things, stupid things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I do none of those things. So yeah, I feel accomplished right now.
And you were one of the official cosplayers for Funimation at the event
Oh,
they
that's
had.
right.
I was dressed up as Nami. Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. Who's Nami again?
She's the girl with the orange hair. You know who Nami
The
is.
girl with the old type.
I know who Nami is. I just find it amusing
Why are you
that you guys
quizzing her?
might not know what One Piece is.
We all saw the movie.
I've watched at least 20 episodes, okay?
That's more.
See, that's
a
20
lot.
more episodes. How many episodes have you seen?
Why are we talking about this?
I just want to know. I'm just curious.
I'm
that's
just
all.
deflecting right now. Let's change the subject naturally.
So we were fortunate enough to go to the first American screening of One Piece Gold, which is a super ridiculous popular movie for a super ridiculous popular franchise, One Piece.
Yeah. Thanks,
So,
Funimation.
Thanks Funimation. Thanks Justin Ross
Justin
if he's
Ross.
watching
Thanks,
this or
Scott
eventually
Bruno.
watch this. As usual, it is an amazing event that Funimation kind of puts, and I guess it's to perpetuate more anime into the world, which I believe we all need, especially in America.
Yeah.
Right?
And to be, just so you guys are clear, we're not getting paid to say any of this. But I always appreciate that Funimation is constantly pushing anime as being like a mainstream form of entertainment. Like they have movies, they have TV shows. It's just because it's like animation doesn't mean that it's like a totally different genre of storytelling. It's not a genre. It's a media. Medium. Yeah.
It's sort of like the good old days, like the early 2000s when anime movies were actually in theaters a lot, and I'm glad that we're kind of bringing this back.
Yeah, I remember Akira was in theaters, and
Yeah.
we were a little bit too young to go to that stuff, but it existed.
And
They
that's
tried.
that's how everyone knows Miyazaki movies. So once again,
Yeah.
thank you Funimation.
Thank you.
Keep on doing it. Please support Funimation. And if you didn't know, this movie is actually playing now from the 10th to the 17th in select theaters.
Yeah.
You can find it at the Funimation website, or I think it's like Movie Phone. You can just basically Google it.
Funimation Films.
Yeah, and you'll be able to find it. So,
All the
I mean,
theaters.
you get the chance to watch like a really dope anime movie in
this was
theaters.
good.
It's pretty good.
It was
It's
like
really
theatrical.
good.
I went
Yeah.
in with no expectations, and I came out really surprised.
Same.
I thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah.
that film.
Real quick, guys, I am on chat, monitoring chat, if you will. Brr, brr, brr. So if y'all
Please.
want to say hi or ask us questions or ask
Yeah.
Stella questions, please feel free to pop in. Nothing weird.
Once again, more sound effects.
Or
Man,
everything.
this
Or
is
all
going
the
great.
weird.
All right, so let's run down One Piece just in general.
Yeah.
One Piece is by Eiichiro Oda, which was, I don't know if
You're
you
gonna read
know
us
him
the
or not.
Wikipedia page now?
Hey, tell us about Wikipedia.
So let me tell you about all the things I Wikipedia. Because I mean, I've been reading One Piece since it came out with all of the original Shonen Jump stuff, Naruto, Bleach, etc. And it's been running for 20 years now, basically.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years of this
Wow.
is running. He still has about 10 years of more material left, so he says.
Insane.
You know?
When are they gonna find the Grand Line? Like, when are they gonna go get
When are
One
they going to
Piece?
explain the One Piece?
What is the piece?
Everyone just like, hey, there's the One Piece. It's named One Piece. The whole thing for 20 years has been like One Piece, One Piece, One Piece, One Piece. What the hell is it? All we know is it's a treasure, and no one mentions it ever.
Yeah.
No one ever mentioned. Like the first season was like, here's the One Piece, and then after that they were just like, let's just fight. Let's just do the whole
Yeah.
shonen thing. Like
Yep.
whatever.
Oh,
Who
I'm just
gives a
gonna be
shit
the
about
best
it?
pirate in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's just like them fighting pirates on other countries. And then it repeats on and on and on. It's a really good series. It's super creative. It's really wild. And when we went to the screening, I knew that this was going to be a super popular movie. Like, I already knew that because in Japan, One Piece is like rampant. Like, Oda is like probably one of the richest people there.
No way.
Now. I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying that he actually is. He's not like, he didn't like find oil lines and shit. But like for the most part, One Piece is just that popular. It's like one of
Yeah.
the most
It's
popular
ubiquitous. It's
franchises
like
ever.
Disney is here, where
Yeah.
everything you can just like mention like Ariel, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's a Disney person. It's like you know what it's from, you know the franchise a little bit, even if you don't watch it, you just kind of know it from seeing it so much in the media and in like real life.
Yeah.
Real life.
Yeah. And so I don't. What was your impression, guys? Like, what was the impression of the events and the movie itself?
So, are we allowed to talk about spoilers while we're doing this?
I mean, we try to avoid them for the most part.
Until the end of the show, and then
Until the end of the show. Yeah, we give people a spoiler warning. So just give me a general
Okay.
feeling of what you felt about the movie without having any real scope. You know, because obviously it's been a while since you've watched One Piece
Yeah.
or anything, right? And then Michelle, I don't know what your experience is.
Okay, I guess I'll be real. I've seen 2 episodes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Is it 1 and
few.
2, or was it like random?
It was 1 and 2. Might have just been 1. I watched it in an anime class that I had. I had an anime class in college.
Wow. Steve,
I had
with
an
the,
anime class in
with the sound effects.
Yeah, I went to
Yay!
Penn State, and they had this like they had a really like God. They tried so hard. The teachers, the Japanese language major teachers were just trying real hard. And I was like, I watched it, and I was very like, this is very like negative to women. I just didn't like, and it's not, it has problems, but like the movie was actually really enjoyable. I felt like I was having a really fun time because it was a heist movie.
Yeah.
That
It
was
was.
modeled exactly after
Yes.
Ocean's 11.
It was very much a heist movie. If you know anything about One Piece, they don't really do a lot of heists. They don't do a lot of sneaky
Okay, I was wondering
things.
if that was
they
out
just
of-
kind of burst in with like a cannonball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their whole thing is to just be like super, I guess, shonen. Is the best way to put
Whoever yells the loudest wins.
it. Exactly.
That kind of
And
pissed me off at the end, but we're not talking about the ending. Keep
that's
going.
a trope. That's a
I know, but I was
tried
like,
and
but-
true trope
But
of
didn't
shonen
explain it,
anime.
like, but why? How did he win? Wit? Like, they didn't
Because he yelled really loud.
Because he had the most
Ganbaru
most
spirit?
station.
station.
You know, he had the
how old
most
is he supposed
youthful
to be?
power.
How old is he supposed to be?
I think he's
have
supposed
no
to be
idea.
like 16 or something.
Yeah, no,
15?
He's a
for
boy.
400
Yeah.
episodes.
Yes, 16 for 400 episodes. So pretend each day. No, wait. There's episodes where it happens within like three
months. and
three
stuff.
episodes will be
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if it's over 600 episodes, then they've only been together for like a little over a year.
Someone,
Yeah.
I'm sure someone on the internet has like mathed this out on a calendar. Like they were here during this time of
Well,
year.
when this happened, there was actually a time skip. So there's a 1 year time skip because everyone needs a time skip.
right, all right.
And then they end up learning a whole bunch of different new powers, which is why, like, if you've seen the first episode or the first couple of episodes, you're like, this is a rubber man. And they explain it. You know, they have like the fruits.
There's something about fruit. Yeah.
The devil fruits,
Yeah.
which are these fruits that imbue these random powers. And it's the thing that separates everyone else from One Piece is the fact that they actually kind of ground everything. You know, there's like, except for Bleach. Bleach is just wacky as hell. But One Piece is just like, you can be rubber, you can be poison,
Yeah,
your
it's
hands.
It's a very basic concept, and I thought because all I knew was that there was fruit, and I forgot that he was stretchy, but like I was introduced, and I was like, okay, this is like you accept it very easily because they explain it in a very quick, easy way.
Yeah.
And the only thing, there were only like 2 or 3 things where I was like, why do they keep referencing this thing? I have no idea what they're talking about. They're going to show it, and they don't never show it. So they're really good about explaining, like this is a movie for people who are just casual fans of One Piece. So I think it probably has it's probably doing very well in Japan, like good general popularity.
The storyline was really good. But yeah, like after me and Jeff watched it in theaters, we went home and just started watching One Piece, like from episode 1. So now we're on like episode 14, I think.
Good luck. There's only 795 episodes to go.
Is there one of those things on the internet where, like for Naruto, where someone made like an abridged version, like just watch these episodes, don't watch these ones?
If you go into the episode, there's an episode Wikia guide, and basically it'll tell you which are filler and which are not filler. One Piece has a crap ton of filler because that's just one of what happens when you have a long popular shonen series. But to be fair, a lot of it's still really long. They covered a lot. There's been, let's see, and this is just off the top of my head. If anyone wants to go out there and prove me wrong, fine, that's great. But there's been about 10 arcs, like roughly 10 arcs already. Because every time they go and find a new island or find a new place, they always end up in like a situation that like Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates have to save. And it's kind of interesting because this is basically one of those condensed down into a 2-hour movie, which is crazy that they did that. But it's like maybe it's because they have like that formula down already of what what One Piece is and what because I've read One Piece, I still keep up with One Piece now, and it's just gotten so ridiculously wacky. I have no clue what's going on. It's really hard to remember most of the stuff that's happened.
Oh, geez.
There's always another silly character or silly bad guy or like silly friends, and it's all great. And each experience is fun. It's always fun, which is why I think that as a movie, as a standalone movie, it just works.
Yeah, and it wraps up everything pretty neatly, and it. They did such a good job at introducing. Like I kind of thought at the beginning of the movie, okay, here's all your characters. Let's go. But in the middle of the movie, you get some other characters who I didn't know. I was like, who this guy? Oh, it's his brother. Okay, like accept it.
That was pretty random.
Oh, you mean Sabo?
And like the Navy showed up and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. They kind of foreshadowed this a little bit at the beginning, so I understand. It wasn't just like blind. Okay, you better be fans. We don't have time to explain this to you because we have to make this movie like under 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours. It was not under 2 hours. But
I mean, we've definitely seen a lot of like movies where you just have to know.
They don't explain anything.
Most of the Ghost in the Shell movies are basically like that. If you go into Ghost in the Shell movie like 2 or whatever, you're like, I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Like you watch a Naruto movie, you're like, you have to know what ninjas are. You have to know what jutsu is. You have to know the whole thing.
It's complicated. Yeah.
And this one, it's it's great because you're just like, oh, these are just some pirates with some wacky ass powers. Like,
I noticed at the beginning of the movie, they're very clear. They make a lot of exposition about what they want in life, which is very important. They're saying like, we want money. This is important to me. Like, I want money. I want food. Like, at the beginning when they introduce the characters, they're very clear about the wants and needs of the characters. Like, in Disney movies, they call it the, what it's called, I think it's called the, What Do I Want song.
Yeah.
So, for example, like, Little Mermaid, it's like, I want to be part of that other world. Like, they always have a song that expresses their biggest desire, and the movie
I want to find love.
Flinches onto that. And it shows why these characters exist in the world, blah, blah, blah. So I think that was really good in the opening.
That's true.
Like,
it really like reintroduced the characters for me since I hadn't seen
simple,
One Piece in so long. So like, okay, I understand that like Luffy. Of course, everyone knows that Luffy really wants to be the king of the pirates, but like understanding like how everyone else wants like money, wants food. I don't know, wants to like fight and stuff. Like my favorite character was the guy who. Banged his head against the giant cups every single time.
Yeah.
And like you understood within like the first 10 seconds of meeting him what he likes.
Yeah. He's supposed to get turned on.
Oh yeah.
He's the best. Is that a one-time character or is he on anything else?
That's a one-time character.
He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him.
That was very good.
He was great.
I guess we're just sort of talking into the wind. Like with people who haven't seen the movie, they have no clue what's going on. So we'll do a brief synopsis. Okay, so basically the Straw Hat Pirates, they have their, I want to say their movie costumes, because everyone has movie costumes. And basically, they end up going to Grand Tesoro, which is a huge ship.
That was confusing because there's a character's name that's something Soro, and I was like, who the fuck, what?
Guild Tesoro. Gil Tesoro is the ruler of
the-
Grand
okay,
Tesoro,
okay.
which is the giant ship
That was confusing.
that's run by
Yeah.
turtles, basically.
Yeah.
Which was a great
And-
little add-on. Good,
yeah,
good lord.
everyone loves the turtles.
Jesus.
Not really a thing. The snails are a thing, so it just kind of makes sense.
So the turtles were a new thing in the One Piece
The
universe.
turtles. I don't think I've ever seen the turtles.
They were great. There's
they
so
could
much.
be there.
So that in this world, the turtles like are the engines that
Yeah.
move cars
Yeah.
and ships, and it's
Turtle.
and they're really cute about it. Yeah, I'm sure in
Super
the Japanese
cute.
version they're saying kame 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 kame.
I'm sure. Or maybe they say turtle in English.
Oh, that'd
Who
be great.
knows?
We'll never know.
Well, it's just because it has these very American influences of casinos. Like this is that I feel like it's very much not gambling. Gambling is sort of a universal thing that
No,
everyone
but like
does.
the grandiose, like neon lights, like
Yeah.
the super luxurious
Well,
way of
Vegas
Las
or
Vegas.
Macau also has a lot of the similar.
Yeah.
Macau
Yeah.
did a lot of the same exact things that Vegas did. So some of the architecture is
Super
similar as well.
luxurious living.
So you could definitely tell because that's how they introduce it. They go into Grand Tesoro and they're literally covered in gold.
Yeah.
It's raining gold.
flakes.
The water is gold, and the walls are gold, and it's
That was some good animation.
Yeah.
I liked it.
No, yeah, I love. Yeah.
like what a great introduction that was. Like
The song
Especially
was
the
great.
Stella Gold party.
Yeah.
I was all about that.
We were sitting next to each other at the premiere, and I was like, "Look, Stella has your name on it.
It's
Look at your
Stella-
name."
Stella's
And
over
she's like,
there.
Oh, like we were just being
Your
very dumb.
character.
Yeah. So like understanding, there's basically a giant sign that says like Gold Stella Party as soon as they
Stella,
enter.
Yeah, because they showed wise because the main character,
one of the
the main
one of
baddie, his interest was
His backstory involves
backstory.
somebody named Stella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's oh man.
I love how they
We'll get
cut
to
in the
that.
middle of a fight scene for his backstory.
backstory.
How to shonen. Number 1, people who yell a lot. Number 2, cut into backstory in
Yeah.
the middle of a fight scene.
Yeah.
I
But it was
would
a
much
good intro.
rather have that than the other trope, which I loathe, is when someone during battle explains shit.
Oh yeah, I will do this because you are doing that,
Yeah.
and my next move is
Like
this.
the justice of the world is broken.
Let me tell you about my plan that I have worked on for the last 30 years of my life.
You gotta show and not tell. Gotta show and
Yeah,
not
you
tell.
gotta show and
Anime.
not tell.
Get your shit
Yeah.
together, anime.
I mean, and for the most part, this definitely did it. So let's continue.
Yeah.
Grand Tesoro is a huge casino,
Yeah.
but within the casino, there's all these little different plots, like residential areas, and they don't introduce it yet because in the beginning it's just them like trying to win money, and they're famous pirates, so they get like VIP treatment. And one of the baddies that we find is the escort Baccarat. And her power is the luck fruit. You don't find that out until later. But essentially, the sort of like devious thing about this place is that if you owe money, you're basically trapped on Grand Tesoro forever.
Because you're paying back your loan, which you can never pay back.
Yeah.
Which is impossible. I believe the slogan was those who are deceive or something like that.
Something about like, so if you get tricked, basically, the slogan of the island is "F you." You get tricked, that's on you.
I remember they're just like, yeah,
Like,
if you
that's
get
weird.
tricked, go fuck yourselves.
Is that
Like-
right on the front of the boat? Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't go on that damn boat if I saw that shit.
I was like, is this a kid's movie? I thought it was. But basically, the whole thing is if you get bamboozled, because I can't, for some reason, it's between the word of tricked and bamboozled. There's a word right in between. I can't remember it.
A single bamboozle, you must pay back several bamboozles.
Yes, that is a quote from the movie.
Yeah.
It is not.
So, Grand Tesoro, they end up. His thing. Remember the gold that I guess
Falling from the
covered
sky?
them
Yeah.
when they entered was all a part of Gil Tesoro's plan of basically capturing everyone.
Yeah.
Because he has a gold fruit,
Yep.
which is super convenient
I love
and
when they
totally
just
makes
repeat
sense.
words for like
Yeah,
the
gold.
blah blah blah.
Well, for all the fruits, it's like flame fruit, or Luffy's is the gum
Right,
fruit.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like
I
it's
get it,
fitting.
I
It's
get it.
fitting of the theme.
Right.
And so they have to pull off this huge heist because apparently he owns 20% of all of the berries in the world, which is the currency of One Piece. And so with one big heist, they can pull off this huge, I guess. I guess heist. Yeah, he
Heist.
just pulls off
They
this.
pull off
they
heist.
pull off
Steal
this
gold.
heist.
Well,
Yeah.
They're trying to steal the gold.
initially, so you see the part where they're having fun, find out the bad guy's bad guy who owns the island, and then he captures their friend, and then they're like, to get him back, we'll have to pay him back the money he owes, which is why we have to do the heist.
Wait, did I not? I thought that was already kind of implied. Was it not?
Zoro gets captured.
Oh, Zoro gets captured.
Yeah, and he has like no role in the movie.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm a voice actor who didn't have time to be in this movie.
Like that's he just like spends a whole movie with his arms like tucked into some gold. Yeah, a gold statue.
He was definitely pretty fancy though. I mean, like he is a good-looking hostage.
He had good moments, especially at the end of the movie.
Especially because he's also the strongest person.
Yeah, that's probably why they locked him up.
I guess so. Yeah.
It kind of circumvents a lot of like, why can't you just do this? It's hard when you have like OP characters because you can't just like throw them into a regular situation. So basically, I feel like that's the whole plot. Get your friend out, get the money. What's gonna happen? Anything can happen.
We gotta pay it off. And then one of the characters is sort of like this pseudo bad guy.
A friend from Nami's past.
A friend from Nami's past that kind of betrayed her. But
let's not give too much away. People are gonna go watch some theaters.
So I was not able to even do this remote justice at all. So I suggest that you guys actually watch the movie yourselves.
The movie is very layered. There's several things happening because there's so many different characters with different motivations, and they all kind of converge together at the end. But it's all about like watching all of that happen.
Yeah.
You know.
If you enjoy like heist movies in general, though. Yeah. So this is where I guess this is the main point.
More important is that
the most important thing is the fact that this is not your typical anime movie with your typical anime tropes and shonen action, because to a certain extent, a lot of shonen movies are very formulaic. Very, it's like, here, introduce this guy, introduce all these new characters. One dude fights one dude, and they all pair up, which they still have that. Mind you, they still have that, but the story is always very linear. And the thing about this heist movie is that it's not, it kept surprising me. It wasn't, like all good heist movies are, you never 100% know what the trick is. Everyone explains to you what the heist is, but really the heist is another layer underneath that.
Right. It's interesting because they they undermine what they've just told the audience, which is, we are going to do this. This is the exact plan. And then they're like, okay, now let's actually do it. And it's not going to go exactly the same way.
Because
why would they show it?
Yeah.
This is just true of all heist movies. But what I think this One Piece movie did was good for anime fans and not just fans of heist movies, is that they put in a lot of that like personal power of like, personal pride and having your goals, and you can't get stopped here because you won't reach your goals if you do. And that was really cute. Like there's a lot of separate, like they basically get off a plan and stuff happens that I don't want to ruin it for you, but of course Luffy is like, no, never give up, and like it's there's like an old guy that he encounters.
Max.
So funny.
I believe his name was. Was
your name?
Something Max. Yeah.
And they meet this like stereotypical cowboy guy.
I don't know.
But he's very short.
Yeah, he's great.
And he was like, I don't know who that voice actor was, but he was goddamn amazing.
He was good.
It was a one-off character who like probably never appears again.
No.
But he's very like, all right, old kid, you're teaching an old man new tricks, basically.
Yeah, he's part of the pirate rebellion too.
Okay.
I don't know why I threw that in there, but he's part of the pirate rebellion, and he's not like a power, but he's just like a legendary gambler. So
I guess actually I'd like to talk about the voice acting real quick if there's time to talk about voice acting.
I don't think there's ever
time.
There's
never time for voice acting.
Oh well,
I didn't write down anything like people's names or sorry, that was very important. But I generally don't like dubs. Generally speaking, I'm a little like,
I love dubs.
Settle down. Which is great. No, I think it's a very personal preference. It depends what you grew up on when you're younger, what you are used to, what you like to see in it. But in general, just like my very biased opinion is that I generally don't like dubs. When I saw this movie, and I think it's because I haven't seen a lot of One Piece or anything, I wasn't expecting a certain kind of voice from anybody. I was like, all right, this is pretty good. And then I was like, wow, some of the voice acting is really amazing. Yeah. Like some of it was really, really good. I loved Brooke's voice actor was goddamn amazing. I didn't really, I love the old man we just talked about, but like I think the whole cast was really good. Baccarat, just like this random ass lady, she was really good.
She's fantastic.
Was very
she
good.
held a very weird, like, oh okay, we're gonna do this now. Like, it was a weird voice you never hear in real life, but she kind of kept it going and was able to change it to slightly more evil and slightly less evil.
I feel like she did not sound like that at all. I thought she had a very I mean, I see what you're saying because she does have like that kind of the weird like villain intonation, but she was very like suave. You know?
Was like, and now look at all this. It's very glamorous, isn't it? Like she talked like that, and I felt like no one fucking talks like
old
that.
Hollywood.
But
this is anime. No one talks like anything.
Well, yeah, but I guess in English you can like really judge it a little more harshly. But as a native English speaker, but it was just I was like, you know what, you fucking kept going with it, and she did change. Like she didn't just keep saying. She didn't have the same intonation all the time. It was really good. I liked it.
She like went from acting to like her real self, which was the villain.
Yeah.
It
good.
I actually thought that Gil Tesoro like was basically the standout like voice actor. The fact of the matter is, he's like this boisterous, grandiose character, and it's so easy to just like mess that up, you know, because a lot of people just go too ham with it, and they're just it's like this old like Disney villain from the railroads with a top hat and like an evil mustache, and like you know what I mean? But this guy, like, his voice acting had a lot of like layers, because once we talk about his backstory, which is a very important part of this. Like the whole.
To be honest, I wasn't sure if the Straw Hat Crew was gonna win because they concentrated so hard on his backstory.
Right.
You know, I thought
maybe he'd turn a leaf or.
Yeah. Will he become a good guy? Will Stella appear somewhere and like save everything and make him, you know, a good
Stella's
person again?
Dead.
Stella's dead.
We don't know.
We don't know that.
She'll come back in One Piece Gold 2.
The sequel.
Unconfirmed.
I mean,
Yeah,
he doesn't
I
lose
hope
his
there's not.
power. He doesn't lose his power. He's always going to have the power of the gold fruit.
Yeah, but I mean, usually what the Navy does. No, I'm not gonna get into this. Anyway, I'll get into it real quick. Okay, so basically, there's this thing called a sea stone. And if you don't know anything about the fruits, is that their biggest weakness is seawater. And I think they touch on it. It's a little weird because like they don't touch on it enough to where it's like they establish it. So I feel like a lot of people forget that in the middle, and so it just sort of all this water appears and kind of resolves a lot of stuff, which I have to be very vague about. But then there's a reason for all of that. There's a reason, you know, that it makes sense if you know a lot about One Piece. But yes, the backstory, I actually thought that too. I thought he was going to turn and leave because he's not just a character that's like, I am totally evil and I'm just greedy. Like his greed and like his pain comes from a very, very personal place. It's like from a place of love, like of just like the cruelty and unfairness of this world.
Yeah.
And you think like, wow, they show so many hints in the beginning that you don't even think about. They're like, oh, I see. There's a little thing, whatever, something has happened. And you kind of don't question it until it like all fits together at the end. And the voice actor really like sells it. Like he makes you sympathize with what he's saying, and like you actually kind of, in a weird way, you're like rooting for him.
Yeah. You are. You don't want him to lose.
Yeah, you don't want him to lose, but you don't want him to win either.
No.
I mean, you also want the One Piece pirates to stay alive. You know, like what a movie that was! And then Luffy and his crew dies, and now it's the Gil Tesoro.
This
you know?
is this time skip. We're in the future and they're dead.
So, like that definitely left like a huge impression on me. I was like, if the voice acting was even remotely like not good or super cheesy, like that, it would all fall apart in a weird way, because One Piece isn't one of those things that any just like, if you like anime, just watch One Piece. Like it's still.
No, I'd never say that.
Yeah, it's such a hard sell because it's so zany. It's so out of the cusp. You know, like you can be like, watch Attack on Titan. It's about people.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, you could humans with like a fantastical element, and One Piece is like, they're not even really human. They're just like these weird caricatures. There's a fucking reindeer that's a man that can be a doctor.
A child-sized reindeer.
And but then it's like a reindeer, and then there's a skeleton man, which is Brooke.
Yeah.
Best
with the
character.
afro.
He's dead.
Really great. He's the king of soul, by the way. He's like a singer.
Oh God, I gotta,
makes no sense.
I gotta Google this guy.
Wait,
Yeah.
so why is Brooke with them, and is he, since he's dead, like, how is he active? Does he have a gum fruit or something? Like, what? I mean, not a fruit. Like,
No, he's just
dead.
cursed. He was cursed.
And they're like, join our pirate ship, kiddo.
Yeah, that was what happened. That's literally what happens in the series. It's like he just goes around and fights these interesting people and it's like, we need you because we need a musician. Or like the reason that Sanji even is there is because they're like, we need to cook because every good pirate needs to cook.
I love Sanji.
Yeah, and Sanji's great.
I love it. He's a womanizer, and
Yeah.
like
He tries to be cool,
cooks
but
and
he's like totally not.
I like him.
He's a
Yeah.
really interesting character. He also has like Okama powers. I don't know what anyone knows what
Okama?
Okama is like cross dressers. And so there's this huge arc, and a
he
huge
just
arc
cross-dresses.
where he learns the art of Okama, which is like this martial arts in this world of like these cross dressers. It's fantastic. You know Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? What is Dr. Frankfurter?
Yeah, Frankenfurter, yeah.
Frankenfurter is one of like the influences. So there's like this short, stout, like fat version of Dr. Frankenfurter. It's fantastic.
So he looks like a Frankenfurter.
No, he look well.
Like, I mean, like,
like
the sauce, like the
Well, if you took the sausage and
sausage man.
yeah. What did you guys like about this movie besides, you know, the heist stuff? Like, did you feel like that impression of like you said that you wanted to actually watch this movie, watch One Piece after this
Yeah,
movie?
I think that's like the benefit of this movie is that like this is a great introduction to like it's kind of it takes One Piece and like puts it on steroids for you, so you kind of see like, okay, this is a movie that's going to be really goofy. Like it's a series that's really goofy. Like all the characters yell a lot because that's their motivation to like, you know, do the thing. And like you just get like a little like super scrunched up bite-sized piece of like what the characters and what to expect. And so that's what turned me on to watching the series. And what turned on Jeff to go watch the series, because he loves shonen. Like, he's all about Naruto and Bleach. He's watched every single episode, read all the manga. So, like, he's never wanted to watch One Piece before. And because of this movie, he's super into watching One Piece now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Michelle?
I feel like I enjoyed the movie for what it was, and like I was I enjoyed it for 2 hours. Or I think I'm interested in like we're talking about Brooke. I'm like, why are you here? Why are you all together? So I'm curious about some of that stuff. I might read some of it. I think it's easier to get through 400. It's easier to read stuff than it is to go through 400 episodes.
yeah.
It's easier to like work
really
with place
is.
and time.
It's easier for me to watch something because when I'm reading, I can't do anything else. And when I'm watching, I could like
So Stella
do lots
needs to
of things.
multitask.
Right.
Is what
You
I'm
know, I
getting
could
from this.
like I could like work on stuff.
But I think the thing that first turned me off One Piece when I was, you know, in my 20s, I'm older than that now, by the way, was that I was just like, why do all the girls look exactly the same? And they have like giant boobs and like the waists are smaller than their arms. And like, I know like, okay, there's a huge argument for it. That's his style. You accept this. And then, you know, the characters are really well written. They are well written. But like, as like a girl, I'm just like, huh? That's kind of messed up. Like, that's a little messed up, question mark. Because I just didn't like that. And then in the first, obviously I'm harking back to stuff that happened so long ago that you probably don't do this anymore, I don't know. But in the first episode, it was just like, boobs, butts, it's funny when you touch girls' boobs, ha ha. And I was like, there's so much stuff that's like this, I don't have time. Like, and that's why I was turned off.
Gotcha.
But I think
Fair
jumping into the movie, I can see that it's more, you know, there was so many like shots. There's like, just butt shots for no reason. Hey, the camera's right underneath your vagina. I'm like, all right, come on.
Shonen.
Like, hey,
That's-
Shonen, yeah.
Well, that's the
That's
thing. You just say, oh, it's shonen, and like that excuses it. But I'm like, I don't have to like it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't.
And I don't think they should keep doing that shit if they want to concentrate on the storyline and like friendship and power and stuff. And if these women are supposed to be equal to them, why do they do that shit? You know? Well, we know why, but it's like that's you're saying.
Look, I mean, it's
big
it's
it's a
absolutely.
bigger it's a bigger
Yeah.
problem than
Yes.
just this movie and just the series.
So I just wanted to give you a visualization of what it actually looks like. I don't know if you can see it, but
here, look, I can.
can you get it close to the camera for me, please? Thank you. So that's what all the characters look like,
Yeah.
and I'm not joking at all. If you see the picture up there, they're like ridiculously proportioned.
Like he never had an anatomy class in his life.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is it's like you look at that, and to me, I'm just like, wow, that's weird and almost obscene to a certain extent. That's also kind of the thing that like puts me away too. You know, it's hard to like recommend it because you're like, oh, look at these interesting characters. Like, there's the Straw Hat Pirate and the Swordsman guy, and then this breast.
The
rat.
girls have to be mean. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Yeah, it's like that's the fatal flaw for his
Yeah.
writings. Like everything else is great, of course, but like this thing is so distracting to me that I can't.
I mean, look at Nami's character design. Like she, for some reason, she didn't want to put on her whole cat suit, so she just
Yeah.
has her.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a
bikini on.
covert operation, but like I need to have my boobs out. Like,
I mean,
this makes no sense.
At least though, we have the other girl, Robin. Like she's fully clothed, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of like makes up for it. Like you know how in like video games nowadays they'll have that one bobacious girl, but now they'll have like a bunch of other
Sure.
girls in different body types, which is like yes, thank you, feminism. You know, having both options. That's what equality is, having both those options.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I don't know. I have
But
nothing
the movie was
bad to
good,
this.
is what I keep trying to say. The movie
no,
was good.
totally. What I liked was the fact that there were so many different like costume changes.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I
you're
really
right.
love that.
I counted there were at
There's
least 3 or
three.
4.
But
so
what-
Yeah.
they walk in with one kind of outfit,
Which is
and then-
totally different from what they usually wear. By the way, Luffy as a pirate, he doesn't usually wear a fucking Viking hat and have an axe. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh
a
yeah, I
random
was
thing that they
curious
put in.
about that. I was like, why
Yeah.
is he wearing this
Yeah.
shit? It's weird.
Well, I was looking at Nami's sexy like bikini. Literally has the word sexy, on it. And I was
yeah.
like, yes, I need this bikini. Their second outfit was all white
Mm.
costumes. That was when they first go in and get their like
Their
start
pimp
gambling.
Oh
suits.
yeah,
Yeah.
they got
The
fancy
full
Vegas
white-
outfits.
Which these outfits are so
Oh, there we go.
so well designed. I love it because it's like if you look at it, you can see basically like all the influences, like all the movie influences actually, because
Mm-hmm.
Oda actually produced this movie, so he's a huge fan of
yeah.
film. If you can see Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
It's definitely
love
one of
it.
them. You just see a bunch of different tropes. Chopper is just he looks amazing. Like
What is
no
he supposed
shades.
to be from? I don't understand.
Chopper's not from anything. It's
He's just
like
being Chopper?
He's just being Chopper. He's like a cute Chopper guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I didn't know he was a reindeer. I thought he was
Just-
just a kid
Yeah,
wearing a
you-
hat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you look at it, you could see like he wears his influences on his sleeve. Like his
Mm-hmm.
whole thing is like I want to have fun. Like I want to have a fun series. That's why that's why it's so popular, because none of it necessarily has to make sense. It's just a dude wanting to have fun with whatever the things that he loves. And he puts that in all of his work.
Yeah.
And this movie is no different, which makes this movie, I think, that's why it's hard to be like, oh, this is just one of those one-off movies that just some studio makes. Like he produced it, so he basically had most of like the creative freedom. So it's like coming from the source itself, and it's still at the same time this like meticulously produced movie at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Fancy,
Yeah.
fancy.
I think that's why we all liked it, because we had things from our movie culture, like our
Yeah.
Western movie culture that we knew of already. Even if we didn't know about One Piece, we could still enjoy like Heist movie. Clearly, it's Ocean's 11/12/13. Like
Yeah.
you know.
And we've all been to Las Vegas, so we like just kind of felt
Yeah.
that whole thing all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also a little bit of the Mission Impossible stuff.
Yeah.
But like you knew that it was coming when they were on the ceiling and
Yeah,
he
it
was like
just comes
bouncing
right
down.
down.
And then he fucks it up. That's not a spoiler. You know Luffy's gonna fuck it
Yeah,
up.
Luffy is the king of fucking things up. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
One thing that I really like seeing in anime is Vegas comes up a lot for some reason in
Yeah.
anime, and I used to have to go a lot for work, and I still do. But so there's in Vegas, if you're not familiar with it, there's a strip, and there's also downtown Las Vegas, which has Fremont Street, which has that covered area, and then you always see an anime that's portraying a gambling city. They have the covered walkway with casinos on either side, and then also it looks like a crown. And then it has like a light up sign, and that's a casino.
Yeah.
That's still there. You can go see that, like the cowboy girl going like the neon sign, and that was all in this. It was exactly Fremont Street, and it was really cute. I was like, good job, guys. You did some research.
That's super cute.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they didn't have like a giant roulette wheel, because that's what I see a lot in anime. It's like
Yeah.
we're like, oh, it's a gambling town, and then all of a sudden it's like a big roulette wheel. It's like,
It's
oh,
rolling,
yeah.
Speaking of giant things, I thought it was so cool. The opening for this movie is like amazing, because
Yeah.
it starts with a song and then a battle, and then you get to see the city. But they introduce it so well. When they're all gambling, there's like quick shots of how the gambling pieces and people are big.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
That's
but it was
because
really
giants
cool.
exist in this world as
Oh,
well.
okay. So there was just like giants.
They're the giant
gambling
people.
with giant dice, and the people are like,
Yeah.
"We're small. This is still cool." Like it was really interesting. I really liked that a
Well,
lot.
it definitely makes it feel like, okay, this is, you can have a casino and it could be small and you could have this small experience, or you could be at this really giant casino where everything is like over the top and crazy.
Yeah.
So of course you'd have like supersized slot machines
Yeah.
with like giants
That was
pulling
so cool. I
the
really-
lever for you.
That like fluff at the beginning like really made the movie for me. This is not a spoiler, but they in the middle of it they start doing like a horse or no,
A
car
race.
race.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that
win
was
money.
like the best
was
like
great.
5 minutes of film and anime I've seen in a long time. It's just fun, weird. It kind of does a lot of callbacks to Red Line.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that shit. It was good. Red Line's a racing anime that we covered like in our 3rd episode we ever did. And it was just so fun. Like the dumb turtles being the engines was great.
Oh,
It was
they're so
fun.
Those turtles were amazing.
Yeah.
Turtle. I would have loved to see more turtle action later in the movie.
Yeah, I would actually wish it was all turtles. Like you just take all the humans out and just it's the turtle rebellion. So yeah. What I mean, God, it's just there's so much to talk about, and it's just I really want to talk about everything, but you just have to watch the movie.
Yes.
You know, it's such like a
Watch the
visceral
movie.
experience.
It's gonna be in theaters.
It's gonna be in theaters from the 10th to the 17th, obviously. So, what was your favorite parts?
Oh, right away. So I already talked about how I love Brooke. Again, I've never even heard of this character before I watched this movie, but I love Brooke because there's a scene where there's a bunch of like lasers, but they're like owl lasers. Like, owl's eyes are lasers. So there's lasers, but it's clearly the scene from every movie that's ever had a security system that has
Entrapment.
lasers. But clearly it's entrapment because they're trying to like, okay, go this way. And then Brooke goes and at the very end he's just screaming at the top of his lungs because he's caught in the lasers. And he's going, whoa! Like he has a really weird voice. And nothing happens. And he's like, why is anything happening? And then someone says, it's because you're dead. The chopper's like, because you're dead. And he goes, how rude! And I laughed so hard because it is the perfect combination of entrapment reference and Full House reference? Question mark? Like, I was like, are you Michelle from Full House?
I don't really know if it's Full House.
I don't know.
But like I was thinking about that,
Right,
and then
right.
also that this character is just so like it's just so stupid that he's a skeleton in like giant fluffy boa. Like it was the funniest.
He
thing
was
for me.
tripping all over his
pretty
boa.
great. Yeah.
I love that shit. It was great.
I don't know what my favorite part of the movie is. I mean, like, well, knowing that it was called the Stella Gold Party. Yes, thank
good.
you, Stella
Yeah.
Gold Party. I think like it's meeting my favorite character, the guy who hits his head on these giant cups. So they play dice, and there's these giant. Instead of playing dice with like a little cup like this and then throwing the dice, instead they have like dice that are the size of like a car, and they have to put it in a giant cup that's the size of like I don't know the Liberty Bell, and to lift up instead of lifting up the cup, they have this guy freaking come in and like jump in the air, spin around like 1,000 times, and then hit his head against the cup so it smashes into a million pieces. It was so excessive and I loved it. And then at the end he goes like this, ooh, give me more. I was like, yes.
And I love that it wasn't a one-time thing. Like continually, even towards the end of the movie when he's like fighting for real, he's still being like, "Oh, that was great!
Yeah, please hit me
Yeah.
more."
It was dumb but funny, like because they kept it going.
I liked it. What was this? Why do I even remember what his name was? I'm
did
so
he have
bad
a
with
name?
names.
It's those unfortunately those characters are just so like
Throwaway.
expendable. You know what I mean? It's like even he wasn't like a super important character. His whole story was that he was like this underground fighter, and he was bored because he was just the best fighter.
Yeah,
or
so they gave him
whatever.
something
and
else
they gave
to
him
do.
something to do, which was I guess break shit with his head.
Experience pain for the first time.
Yeah. So that I guess, yeah. I mean, he does have a name. I just forget what it is.
Tell us, Google.
What does chat say? Because it seems like chat's blown up for some reason. I don't know
No,
why.
it's chat, y'all. You gotta step it up. They're pretty calm.
How dare you be calm?
Edward M says he wants to see more of the villain story. I think he means the main dude.
Gil Tesoros.
Killed Zora.
Very
Yeah.
Italian
Tesoro.
names.
There's actually a lot
Yeah,
of
come on.
Tumblr like fan art about Stella and Gil Zoro
Aw.
and like how they
Aw.
just want to be together.
Aw.
It's like,
Yeah, his art was
Star-crossed
sad.
The
lovers.
celestial dragons are assholes.
Yeah. Okay.
apparently.
What are the Celestial Dragons about?
The celestial dragons are basically like the rich. It's basically the 1%. they're just like the richest people.
They're not actually
and
dragons.
no,
Because I was like, where are
they're
the
just,
fucking
they
dragons?
just
Yeah, I
live,
thought so.
they live in the sky, and I believe their whole thing was that they regulate weather. I think that's the whole thing. Yeah, and
they're called
they have that
dragons 'cause they're in
weird
the sky.
shit, and they're basically supposed to be.
So it's like
the
affected
creme de la creme.
haughtiness. Okay.
The cream that rises to the top. Anyway, so yeah, I would have loved to see more of Akira Tozoro's story, even just how he like got his crew together, because
Yeah.
it's the fact that he had this overarching like theology of Grand Tesoro,
Yeah.
of like what it was about. The fact that it's an independent country is the fact that like it's built on the idea that if you don't have money, you're powerless. Which, you know, in a weird sense, I feel you, homie. Like, I get you. I know where you're coming from, you know? But it's also, you know, the purpose of the Straw Hat Pirates is to be like, no, that's not what it's about. It's about freedom. It's about, you know, like doing what your heart tells you to do, you know, to be courageous. Like, and it's such a strange contrast between the two, which makes the conflict so interesting. Because no one is necessarily 100% right. Everyone forgets that Luffy, even though he is a hero, but he's still a pirate.
Yeah.
You know, he's an anarchist.
Oh, I never forget
most
that
part.
they're pirates. Like watching the series right now. I'm just like, nah, they're just out for themselves, and they'll actually hurt people who are totally innocent because it's also hilarious when they do that. But it's like they're not the good guys who are all about righteousness.
No.
They're there to right the really bad wrongs, but mostly to benefit themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll stop you if you're like killing those children, but they won't stop you.
I remember that,
From,
the
like-
killing the children's arc.
You know, it's like they're out there to if there's something to benefit them, they'll
Yeah.
do it. Like if there's treasure in the end, then they'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, they don't like, they're not just like stealing stuff from people, but for the most part, yeah, their creed is what's important to them. And no matter who really gets dragged into these wars, unfortunately, he's become a much more of a hero in the later parts of the series, because in the beginning he was just really more of a pirate. It's like the Navy he's always running away from the Navy and like fighting the Navy.
Yeah.
But the Navy aren't necessarily bad guys. Some of them are bad guys and some of them are good guys, but they're supposed to keep order in this world that's basically orderless. It's impossible, and they're still trying. But, you know, they're still subverting them, even though, you know, all they want is law. And I don't know. It's just it's hard to forget that. In this movie, I think they epitomized that. They made it so that like even if you don't have to explain it, you feel that. You feel like that freedom and like courageousness from the pirates. And to a certain extent, that sort of like, you know, sadness has built this man sort of deal too. And if that isn't really good storytelling, I really don't know what is.
Oh
You know what I mean?
no.
So we're slowly coming towards the end, even though we started a little bit late. So we have like,
okay.
I don't know, a couple of minutes left. So I just wanted to shout out once again to Funimation for inviting us to your cool ass events. Keep inviting us. We'll plug you. We have no shame here.
But
And
like if it's a bad movie, we say it's a bad movie. We're not.
yeah, we're not. Look,
Look, internet.
if it's shit, we have a very hard time
You're not gonna
pretending
win an
it's
Oscar.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it's a fun movie.
But we can definitely vouch for this movie. I mean, I'm a pretty easygoing guy, as you know, and I'm very forgiving.
As you know.
Michelle, maybe not so much.
I'm the worst on the show.
So if she likes it,
Yeah. I hate everything.
I mean, you could basically vouch. We could vouch for you.
It's
Watch
a
this movie.
fun time to spend 2 hours.
I would definitely say, even try watching One Piece. If you watch the movie and you really like it, I say that One Piece is deserving of a chance. Just don't watch that filler, because it's there.
Yeah.
Just find out where the filler is and skip it.
Yeah.
And remember, it's January 10th to the 17th. Funimation.com should have a schedule for you.
Yeah.
And so to the Lions, let's rate this.
Lions.
Well, so
On the count
if
of
you don't,
three, or-
just a refresher.
Jesus Christ.
Refresher. If it's good, we let it live. If it's bad, execution time.
Gladiator style kill it.
Gladiator style judgment.
Okay.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Obviously.
Ooh, duh.
Yeah.
Yay.
Duh. So where can you find everybody?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at I am Chubby Bunny.
And you can find me at Stella Chu with 5 U's or sometimes 2 U's. It depends on
many
who
U's.
stole my name in social media.
Wow, that's very
Find out
confusing.
next episode.
Between 5 and 2 U's.
So which one? Is it 2 or 5?
It's either 2 or it's 5.
Okay. And you can find me at Max Salts at everything with no 5 or 2 U's. So, all right. What do we have for next week?
We don't know. It's
We
a
don't know.
mystery.
It's a
But we're gonna
surprise.
be
We just
here.
talked about Kimi no Nawa.
We did already. Yeah, I know.
Get out of here, Stella. Noob.
You're late. You're late. All right, we'll have something amazing for you
Yeah.
next week. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.